Good morning. Today is December 14th, 2017. It's 10:01. This is a special meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Present today in Albany, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, Associate Attorney Furring, and myself, Secretary of Authority Donahue. The only item we have on today's calendar is a request from Council's office for an emergency order of summary suspension with respect to item 2017-02789, which is Murray & Murray Enterprises, LLC. Council?
Thank you. This is an application for a proposed summary order of suspension for Murray & Murray Enterprises, LLC, doing business as a Levels Banquet House located at 69 North Pearl Street in Albany, New York. Last weekend, there was a report of shots fired at the licensed establishment. The police arrived to find groups of people fleeing the licensed establishment into the street to avoid the shooting. When police arrived, they found a man who had been shot twice, who did succumb and died from the injuries. The license is a catering license, and so it should only be open for private events and not open to the public. An investigation revealed that the event had been advertised and was open to the public. It was a nightclub type event where guest DJs would come. The licensee had previously applied for a liquor license, an OP license here, and based on the adverse history of the location and other things, there was opposition to it, and that was disapproved. She then came back with a application for a catering license and represented in her application that she would only be open for private events and would not use promoters. And so based on that, and she had support for that particular method of operation from the community, and based on those things, the license was granted. Shortly after being granted the license, we received a complaint that she had been open to the public for an event. And so we sent a letter of advice warning her that under her license she could not be open to the public, and that she had to conform to the representations that she had made in her application. So this seemed to work, at least temporarily, but following the shooting, the investigation also revealed that the licensee had been holding other events that were open to the public at this location as well. So there appears to be a willingness to go outside the parameters of her liquor license in a knowing fashion.
Did she ever respond to your letter of advice? Was there ever any response?
There's no document in the record indicating that she responded.
All right.
The internet documents showing the various events that were open to the public are attached to your packet there. The event that was the cause of the shooting, or that led to the shooting, involved an advertisement whereby the licensee said special guest DJs in the building for an official after party at a private location. That would indicate that she knows that she cannot advertise events that are open to the public, and that you would have to call a phone number to find out where the event was taking place. The phone number was tracked to her business, however. Based on the obvious danger to the public health, safety, and welfare, we are respectfully requesting that an emergency order of summary suspension be issued.
So when you say that she initially applied for an OP license, she initially applied to be a nightclub and that was denied, correct?
Correct.
And we had previously canceled, the SLA I should say, had previously canceled the license that existed there prior to her application?
Yes, Buddha Tea House had many liquor law violations, including disorderly premises.
And that was being operated as a nightclub, correct?
Yes,
So she then reapplied and told us that her method of operation was going to be a typical catering hall that did weddings, banquets, bar mitzvahs, things of that nature.
yes,
And told us that her method of operation was going to be completely different than the previous method of operation,
correct.
which is how she got the public, community, and political support for that application.
Yes,
And it's obvious over the course of the last year that this place has been running as a nightclub. Is that fair to say?
well, at least intermittently for these publicly advertised events.
And when we review an application for a nightclub, we take special and pay special attention to their security plan, the parking plan, the traffic plan, what they're going to do as far as hours to ensure that incidents like this don't occur, correct?
Yes, and I think the fact that she was representing that it was going to be a catering establishment gave everyone, you know, an indication that this was going to be different than the previous licensee, and so.
So it's fair to say that she not only misled us, but she misled anyone that was supporting this application, including the Albany Police Department.
Yeah,
Capacity was 125 people. Do we have any reading on the amount of people that they might have had in there for any of these events?
the maximum capacity of this location is actually over 400
Oh,
people.
is it? Okay.
She had represented in her application that she would hold mostly smaller private events
Okay.
and never go over 200 or 225. We don't know yet, because the investigation is ongoing, how many people approximately were present on the night of the murder.
I'm sorry, it's the basement that has a maximum of 125. I missed
Yeah,
that.
this
Thank
is
you.
a two-level place, basement 125 and the upstairs almost 300, I believe.
And is it possible, or is it likely, based on the advertisements, your review of the advertisements, that she was using actually promoters to promote these events?
Yes, it appears to be that promoters were contacting her and saying, can we rent out the facility for this particular event?
Which is something that we pay special attention to when licensing a nightclub, isn't that true?
Yes, she also had represented in her application that she would not use promoters.
Yes, I did read that, and I have a letter from her attorney back from January of 2016, prior to her getting licensed, that the lawyer makes representations that it will not be operated as a restaurant bar open to the public. Any event held will be associated with a specific identified group, and I, based on my review of the advertisements, that's obviously false. That was not occurring that way. So, I don't have anything else.
No,
Ready to vote?
Yes.
in light of a shooting there recently where someone died from it, I mean, the list goes on and on. They're operating it completely outside their permitted method of operation. Pretty much have stated it all, so I vote to summarily suspend.
I'm going to vote to summarily suspend as well. We pay particular attention to licensing establishments that want to operate as a nightclub, to make sure that they have proper security in place, to make sure that their method of operation comports with the law, to make sure that they don't get overcrowded, to make sure that they're taking precautions, to make sure people with weapons don't walk in. We had absolutely no idea any of those precautions were taken here, because the method of operation we were led to believe was occurring was that of a wedding facility. It's obvious based on the advertisements that are attached here, which there's multiple ones going back months, that this place was actively acting as a nightclub that was completely open to the public, and that led to the events that occurred last week, which makes it obvious that this place is a clear danger to the public health, safety, and welfare. So I vote to summarily suspend.
I have no other items on the calendar, Chairman.
No.
All right, then the meeting is concluded.
Thank you.